I do have a copy for the Parks Board for Pioneer Hall. I couldn't get it done before last Wednesday, but you guys can look at it and we can either vote on it tonight or vote on it next time.
Yes.
It's just the rules and regulations.
What's what?
Utility board.
Pioneer Hall is not actually, it's not, I mean, if you guys want a different name.
Yes.
That was a good idea. Since
Good
it's
job.
Pioneer Village down
Yeah.
there, you know.
All right. Okay.
They moved voluntarily. Yeah, they moved a week or so, or sometime within the last couple, 3 weeks.
Okay.
Pioneer Hall.
Dexter Hurst.
That's not a name, that's not necessarily a name that
How you doing?
I like it.
I like
Whatever
it
you want to
too.
give me.
Yeah.
For the Boy Scout cabin, called Pioneer Hall. The Boy Scout cabin, the new one, Pioneer Hall.
It's a good name though.
That sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
Last month or two.
Pioneer Village.
You're up for anything right now, aren't you?
Where do I sign it? I never.
I hope so.
Just right here.
There you go, start on
I'm good with it.
March tomorrow.
Absolutely.
March,
Yeah.
O-ring,
Yeah, I bet.
that'll make
You're
him.
welcome.
It took me a year to talk him into that. I agree, he won't, it's the old homestead, and
Yes, ma'am.
but I said, you stay in that house, you and the house are gonna be down the
Fall
creek.
Fest? No, they haven't told me. Yeah. Yeah, you told me about that.
I saw nothing. I saw you come in and I thought,
Bobby's on there. The committee, you might want to ask him.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
policeman
He's on
or
there.
the fireman, which one's gonna be here tonight? Then I saw your flash hour out there. I thought, oh yeah.
I do too,
That works.
I do too, and
But otherwise, I'll try to find out for you.
late, but that knees keep me from working out there.
Usually he's sitting down when I hear how it's like.
I think he's trying though, I really
I don't
do.
know if my ankle is broke or sprained, but
Yeah, where in the hell were you?
I agree.
Yeah.
I jumped up and coughed the
I
other day.
agree, but you're not gonna get him to do it. Hey, to build that place, it took me a year to talk him into
I
that.
jumped up and coughed. I came down. I couldn't walk for a
This
few
is a
minutes.
plat.
So I thought I'll be all right.
This
So
is
I
a
walked
plat
okay,
for you
but
guys.
I got home, it's swollen.
It's the fairground pump station.
Yeah, it says it's probably
Is that
sprained, but
something?
there's possibly severe sprain. Need a brace.
I don't need it anymore. We
So I
transferred it
was
to you,
for a few days.
so
That was Friday, and I went for
if you want to give us
If
EB
I
or
walk
whatever,
straight,
that's fine.
If I twist it anyway, it does. But I went to urgent care today to see if
Yeah, and the Agner Hall, whatever.
but their x-ray person wasn't in, so I told them I was come back tomorrow. But yeah, if I keep it straight, normal, I guess, it don't bother me. I can't twist or turn.
No. Oh, you want one? You need one?
I didn't want to sit. I didn't want to sit there for a few
Okay.
hours.
It's extra one I had in my office. I didn't know if you needed it or not.
You don't.
You can chuck it if you want.
I had two in my hand tonight, and I evidently put them both in there.
Yeah, it says you might.
Hi, JR.
It says you might need crutches.
Oh, I'm just wonderful.
I figured I'd go tomorrow.
I didn't
No.
agenda.
Let's see, what am I doing?
If I keep it straight, it's not bad. Like today,
I gotta
it
give
gave
these
out,
out.
and I like rolled over and gave out. Oh, I barely caught myself, but
You can just bring this.
That's yours. Leslie,
What's this? Let's go, Les.
these letters came back from the loan, and I've got the one that I resent out for you too, somewhere.
Okay.
What's this?
That came in the mail today from Special Olympics, they want money.
Get on the board, they know what's going.
What?
They're not on the agenda.
No, not tonight, it's for future. Here's that one then, Leslie. I resent that one.
Thank you.
I
But
don't know
no,
why.
these aren't the loan, this one's the loan, but these two are the, utility.
Oh, well then give them back and I'll
That's okay.
give them back to them.
No, we sent them out in
Oh,
our
you did?
office.
Okay,
Mhm,
all right.
That's fine. But if you get any more recent ones, those are definitely gonna be probably the
Well, see,
utility
some of
lien.
those names did ring a bell with me.
One I think I'm going to pass. That's
This is
probably
not
what came back.
tonight. This is for future.
Yeah, really.
What's that? I ain't singing yet. Ain't got enough liquor in it.
One of the smart ones that
Future, possibly next meeting. future, next meeting. It came today, future, next meeting, I hope. Special Olympics wants money.
Went in it.
Huh?
Went in it.
Yeah, well, always.
The boat's empty.
Well,
Check it out.
let's see. I got stuff for Bobby. Oh, Bobby's here. Why did he give me these? Okay, never mind, Jack. We don't know. We don't care. Where's my agenda?
Their advisor. Whatever was given through that other outfit.
Oh, shut up.
I'm counting it.
Remember the other outfit?
Marking off on the calendar.
It's all just.
They're only asking for.
Well, and you know, I
Oh, yeah.
lost mine.
Once you're in those things that are made to go out anyway.
I saw it earlier. It's got to be here. My agenda. No, it can't be under here. Well, it can't be that important, I guess. Special Olympics is next meeting. I don't know. What are we doing, parks?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, I don't know whether or not the,
Okay.
everybody individually.
I hate, I'm sorry. Yes,
I mean,
Anybody's in the hospital.
yeah, well, depending, sometimes it depends. I'm sorry, but that's the way I feel sometimes. Oh, those, okay.
I don't hate anybody. I dislike people, but I don't.
Yeah, no, I don't hate anybody, I
dislike them.
yeah, me too. I have those. Are these the last ones?
all together, so 1.4.
The ones for Board of Works that we didn't approve last time because they weren't on anything.
Probably are.
Except you've got the agenda and I don't.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do, right here.
I'll put the one here for part of that.
Okay, I don't need this. I've got 2 thank you notes to you and the council. Should I?
The guy next to you.
Maybe there's, I don't know if they're in all the packets. Did you get packets?
Be on TV, golf.
Think so, yes.
Okay, then good. Those, I don't know.
Everybody ready?
No.
Give me lessons there.
Oh, no, you know, I've lost something again. Oh, well. Go ahead, I'm ready whenever you are.
Call this Parks Playground meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Jane Pope. Present. Aaron Cook.
Here.
Bill Bruner. Here. J.R. Holcraft.
I'm here.
Mike Lawrence.
Mike
is absent.
Lawrence will be late, he's got his son to the doctor's appointment, but he will eventually be here.
Okay. Attorney Leslie Votaw.
Here.
Utility Director Mel Davis.
Here.
Mayor Carr.
Here.
And myself.
Approved minutes previous meeting.
I just got one statement and a question. We're going down under new business, down to the second paragraph. It says Jane Pope stated that she agrees with J.R. Holcraft. And then it goes on to say people can bring their own tables and fire pits to camp. It should read, I said that people could bring their own tables and fire pits to camp. And then when J.R. Holcraft in the next line said, we are not making any money from this, that line that I agreed with him should follow his statement.
Did you agree with that statement or not?
Yeah, with his statement, yeah.
Okay.
That's his, J.R. Holcraft said we are not making any money from this, then it should say Jane Pope stated that she agrees with
Okay.
J.R. Holcraft. And I was the one that said they could bring their own tables and fire pits to the camp.
Okay.
And I got a question. The city's already purchased the picnic tables and the fire pits. Can we return those? And I'd like to know how and why they got purchased before the campground got approved and it got denied.
That was a approved project on the Board of Works list, and we get those items from the state penitentiary, and make sure we didn't run into any delays, we went ahead and got those orders, and got this done.
Next time, can you wait to make sure the project's going to be approved?
And there again, I based it on the Board of Works project.
Thanks.
Is that all you, changes you got? Okay. Approve the minutes previous meeting
With the corrections.
with the corrections.
So
Entertain,
moved.
second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Committee reports. Have none. New business. Have none. Old business, we've got Frontier Hall, Niagara Hall rules and regulations.
Pioneer Hall.
Pioneer Hall.
And you know, that's just a name we came up with, if you guys have any different suggestions. I did bring this to you last time, that had the Agner Hall rules, and we talked about it, I think actually went through it all. I think I put all the changes that you all wanted in there.
So these are just for the Pioneer Hall, not for Agner Hall too?
Right, this is just for Pioneer Hall.
Okay.
Because, well, the difference is I didn't want any alcohol, so under number 7, I put there be no alcoholic beverage on the premises, either dispensed or brought onto the property by the renters or their guests. And then noted that as a non-smoking facility. Number 8, I was able to talk with the Boy Scouts, and they have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evening meetings. And I did put subject to change, of course. I think the rest of it is how you all.
I briefly read it, Leslie, but I got one question.
Mhm.
Did you specify it would be for use only?
For what only?
Use. Y-O-U-T-H-S.
Oh, you mean as far as any rentals?
Right. I mean, an adult can rent it, but it's only to be used for youth projects. We agreed to that.
No, I did not put that in there.
We didn't know
I
that.
can. I had a whole list, but I didn't put that down when I was making notes last time. Let's see here.
Was that birthday parties, things like that?
Yes. Slumber party.
Well, what constitutes use?
We want to say
Guess for
18
someone
and
18
under?
18 and under?
Board agrees.
Anything the board?
Let's see. So,
Make it 18 under, or
Fine with me.
Bill? Aaron?
okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Jane, do you want it? Put it in a motion, so we make it special.
I make a motion that Mrs. Votal add to the City of Lawrenceburg Pioneer Hall rules and regulations that it is only be rented and used for youth purposes only, ages 18 and under. Of course, adults will do the renting and oversee the kids.
There a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Ayes have it.
Great. I will, well, we don't have a parks meeting next time, but I will put it in the packets for the next meeting with the changes, and we can go from there. I think if you guys are okay with the rest of it, then if we just add that, then we can go ahead and just start using the forms.
Okay.
Thanks.
No more old business reviews.
There was supposed to be one more under old business we talked about last time. They're gonna put it on this agenda about the pool. The 2 things was the military discount.
Oh, they didn't get it on there?
No.
Go ahead and do it then.
Let me see. Abbott was wondering if the board would like to give them active military discounts. Right now, they pay full price.
How many people have asked about this, Aaron?
I don't know.
That would be my question. Is it one or is it a bunch?
I'm not sure.
Okay,
Tell you the truth.
just asking.
I'd make a motion to allow the active military to get in for free.
I agree, and the reason why I agree with Bill, because a lot of times they're in the military and they only come in town for a short period of time to visit their relatives.
Okay, got a motion second? All in favor?
Is there a
Aye.
second? Who's second?
I'll second.
Okay,
that.
that's fine. Okay.
All against? Ayes have it.
And then the only other thing to do at the pool was the Little League are having their pool party on July 16th, which is not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, and they want to see if they could get the fees waived for that pool party. And they have the deposit down at the pool.
Anything on the board?
Motion, waive the fees.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? I want to discuss a little things with you on this waiving, that's fine waiving the fees, but they gotta pay for lifeguards, and put some of these lifeguards over, the limit they gotta work. We ought to look at this and see if maybe whoever gets a fees waiver, they can pay for their lifeguards.
Mayor, can it be two separate things, like when the police department works for outsiders, they get a set fee? So could we have our lifeguards, when they work for an outside entity, get a separate fee?
As long as the outside pays for them.
Right.
Yeah, because it's costly. I mean, a lot of people come here and get it for free, and it's costly.
And then that way it would put them over 40 on their
Right,
payroll check.
and that would help us out on that. I mean, it's something to consider, but we think about it, think we can bring it back next meeting.
Okay.
Because a part of what we talked about last time as far as the reserve officers, for instance, I mean, it could be a special detail, a pool party,
Right.
and you could just make it on a fee basis if you wanted to.
Then let the people renting it pay
Right,
them.
and they would pay them directly.
They still go through the pool and get the lifeguards.
Right.
We're not talking about this party right now, we're talking
Oh,
about
just
from starting next
future.
month or something?
Yeah, future.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, any more, Aaron?
No, that was all.
Review and discuss claims board approval.
So move.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion adjourned.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Board works 5 minutes. As soon as you get seated.
There's a work session, so we need to approve those minutes too. There was a work session ahead of time.
For board works, yeah.
Yeah, so there was a utility board meeting, and then there was also just make sure, yeah, we approve those minutes too.
What do you say about it?
Yeah. We, thank you, Raj. We, yeah, the semi, actually, I have a whole pile of organizing today with all the stuff I need to do, redevelopment and stuff, but this is definitely, yeah, I don't have any plans this week. They're just getting ready. Okay. Mayor, he wants you to be on a meeting with that Ellen and Judy. There's yeah. Yeah, there's also.
I went up there like
Well. Where are you going? Right. And he's not adverse to paying them, but he just wants to make sure everything else is, you know, squared away too.
That's the thing, there's more to it than just.
Right. Which, you know, we said that maybe we would just give coffee. And, you know, everybody walked their own way. I thought that was a good idea. Thanks.
No thanks.
I'm good, thank you.
Hey, Budweiser, I don't want it.
Okay. No, Wednesday. I can shoot a call tomorrow? Oh, I saved Connie.
I think he probably goes both ways. I just go one way.
I'm just looking.
Oh, you got,
I'm
oh, go
just,
ahead.
I can't find mine. Lord knows what I've done with it.
Wait a minute, hey. Yeah, I can be with 2 of us, I can't be with 3. Go look this.
What?
Can't be over two guys. We go look at it.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it's here.
We're still. I can't do it. I can't go over two guys.
Good.
I've been looking for this thing, my agenda, and I looked through all this. It's been laying over here all the time.
She's off on Monday.
Oh,
She's
well.
back tomorrow.
He's gonna check.
Yeah. I found my agenda.
That's why I haven't touched it. Every time that black, every time it's even a little bit tacky. Right. Yeah.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Ready? Call this Board of Works meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Donnie Bryant.
Present.
Bill Bruner.
Present.
Aaron Cook.
Here.
Mario Todd. Here. Mayor Carr.
Here.
Nick Meyer.
Here.
Johnny Tremaine.
Here.
Bobby Mills. Here. Leslie, Attorney Leslie Votaw.
Here.
Utility Director Mel Davis.
Here.
And myself.
Any announcements?
Thank you.
Hearing none, approved minutes of previous meeting.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Committee reports. Fire Department, John Tremaine.
Everybody should have a copy of June run totals. We had 29 for the month. Also, we got through our ISO audit. Everything seemed to go well. The results of that audit will be, he told us 3 months to 6 months. So I think it took Greendale 3 months to get theirs. So.
You resting a little bit better? You was nervous about that.
I wasn't sleeping very good at that time. Flashover training went well. We had 4 different departments come up with us, trained with us on a very hot weekend. We got to adjust our schedule next year to keep it in the cooler months, so that went well. Other than that, that's all I have.
Okay. Police Department,
No report, Mayor.
EMS Director Bobby Mills.
Now, Mayor, I'd like to announce that July the 1st, Lawrenceburg EMS is now paramedic.
Great job.
Very good.
Tell everybody we're thankful for it. It's done a lot for the city.
We still have a little ways to go, but as of right now, we are out the door paramedic.
Good job, Bob.
Also, I'm back with the quotes for the heart monitor, and you should have 3 of them in front of you. One of them is the Zoll. It's $77,760. The other one is a recertified Life Pack 12, which is $71,062.14. And the MRX Phillips is $64,998.75. With our trade-in, it becomes $58,998.75. That's what I recommend.
Everything aboard?
And again, this is coming out of your budget, Bob?
Coming out of the, probably a non-reverting fund. Between the two, like I said last time, I got 2.2 million.
So Jackie, you're okay with that? There'll be no additional appropriations needed, correct?
No. He's got money in the NR fund, and that works for me.
Okay.
I'd say move to go with Bobby's recommendation.
There's a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against?
Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you very much. That's all I have.
Okay. New business, approved POs
That's you.
from the purchase orders. Everybody go through it? Any questions?
Go through what?
Entertain a motion?
I'd so move as submitted.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Ayes have it. Fall Fest fireworks contract. It was in your packet.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
I did review it too. Everything looks fine. It's the same one we've used for years. Last year, we did make sure they included not only the federal provisions on number 7, but also the Indiana code and local regulations, so that will help with anything Carl might have to do.
John, you looked at it? Okay.
I had one question, I guess. Johnny, are we going to run as late as we did last year?
No. They're gonna be
Going
out.
at 10:30.
That band's gonna be over at 10:30.
They're singing, there's fireworks
Yeah,
tomorrow.
it's going off 10:30, get them out of there.
So I think they probably need to approve the contract and then also approve the deposit.
Entertain a motion to approve the contract.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Approve the one.
Then there's also the deposit that they require.
Need a motion to approve the deposit.
To release the deposit?
Yeah, the raise deposit.
So move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Ayes have it. Okay.
I'll get with you tomorrow and you can get those signed.
Whole business, Jack Stutz,
I don't know.
Spectrum Statement of Work.
Oh, it's that.
Next page. Yeah, Erica? Okay, or whoever, come forward to the podium, please. You guys wanted more answers. This is the gentleman from Spectra who wants to do the checking out the cell phones to see if they can save us money. I can save us money right away. Anyway, so you want to explain a little bit about what you're going to do, and then if they have questions, so they know what we're talking about?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you. Appreciate the time. I know you guys have a busy schedule, so I'll try to keep it brief as possible. Our company's a wireless management organization.
Name, please, because I
Name Troy McCracken with Spectrum Incorporated.
Oh, okay. That's right. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. We're a wireless management organization. What we do is we are able to come in and help companies take a look at what they currently have for mobile services. Literally make no changes from a user perspective. Your users won't have any differences. The only thing you're going to see is your bill was X before we got engaged. We rearranged the plans to be more optimal for you, and your bill is Y after we get done. We then split the savings 50-50. We continue to manage that for the next 24 months. So it's not a one-time project, it's
You deal
continuing.
directly with the carrier as far as negotiating that?
We can if you would like us to. What we normally do is, we just take a look at what your current plans are. We don't go negotiate the contract unless you would like us to. If you want us to, absolutely we can. But we try to keep it as minimal interruption as possible. So what happens, the process is very simple. We would get your login to your Verizon account. We would download 6 months worth of invoices. We would then benchmark that cost structure. So if you're averaging $100 per device, that's the baseline that we use. We then come back to you and say, you're at $100, we're going to cut your cost to $70. That's the projection, and then every month after we actually see the invoice, you see the savings, then we invoice you our fee in arrears. So there's no projected savings, there's no upfront from a standpoint of, we're going to charge you X over the course of a year for the whole savings. It's every single month during the contract, so there's no out-of-pocket to the board.
And your contract is a 2-year minimum contract?
Our contract's a 2-year contract, correct.
Because, Mario, that's what the phone company's contracts usually are, is 2 years. Excuse me.
So,
Yeah, but we don't have to negotiate the contract.
I mean, it may only be 1 year left on a Verizon contract, correct? But you're still going to have a
I don't know.
2-year
Correct.
evaluation.
A lot of times what'll happen is when we come in, we can either negotiate a contract 1 month after you've done it, or we can negotiate it 1 month before it's due. What we're trying to do is just take your current minutes, data usage, tech usage, and optimize for your optimal savings. That's what we're trying to do. We don't have to negotiate the contract unless you want us to. That's why in the statement of work, it says if requested to do so, we will.
but as far as, if, like Mario was saying, if we're in a contract and you're saying that you're not even going to negotiate with our carrier, I'm just curious on how you're going to save, because we're already paying for X package. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the analogy I would use, okay? If you go to a restaurant and you know the owner of the restaurant, you don't necessarily have to order off the menu, but if you know the owner of the restaurant, you can order off the menu. So there's a lot of pricing packages and plans out there that the carriers will not bring to the table because they don't want to reduce their cost. So we've been doing this long enough, we know what they're willing to pay, we know what they're willing to accept from a standpoint of a negotiation perspective. So even though we don't come back and say, we're gonna renegotiate your contract, we know these plans are available, so we bring them to the table and say, this is what we want. And they accept it. I mean, they don't even have to accept it, we just make the plan changes in your system, because we know they're available.
And so, and another issue was, basically, I think your time frame was like 30 days, is you guys go ahead and analyze, and you come back to us in 30 days and say, okay, this is what we can save you.
Correct.
So, say for the next 6 months, I mean, you guys say you keep an eye on it, but is it gonna change, you know?
Oh, absolutely, it could. It could, because wireless is very dynamic, so it depends on if you guys added 10 or 12 users, their calling patterns changed. That's why we manage it. So to kind of give you an idea, what we used to do is we did a 70-30 split with everybody. We would do a one-time project, we'd base it off your current cost now, we project it in the future, and we'd split it 70-30. The issue is that we had a couple customers come to us after we told them it's a one-time project. We're not managing it moving forward. So the analogy I use, if I come in and clean your house, I'm gonna do the baseboards, I'm gonna do the dishes, I'm gonna do the laundry, but you're gonna live in it. So it's gonna get messy. So if you don't manage it, then you're not gonna see the projections that I put together. So we stopped that. We said it's a 50-50 split. We're gonna manage it every single month, so you see exactly what we're projecting, and you don't pay us unless you actually see the savings. Simple as that.
So every month, then you're checking it out.
Absolutely. And if the patterns change constantly, and you'll see that.
And this doesn't pertain to just our say our cell phone package, but as far as my understanding, it's police officers, you know, anything wireless.
Not wireless network. So any mobile devices, tablets, cell phones, smartphones, flip phones, whatever it may be. We can take a look at all of those devices, correct?
Everybody's in the city.
Right.
Right.
I still think a stipend's the best way to go. Give them $30 or $50, you take care of your plan, you get anything extra, you pay for it. And it's off the city's hands, and we get rid of a big cost.
Right, and that's just the cell phones though, right?
Well, yeah.
Because, I mean, this deals with, would it deal with the police officers and their in-car computers? I mean, would that?
If it's not an in-car computer, it's a mobile device. I mean, that's a machine-to-machine.
Tablets, Bill.
Right.
The air cards.
Computers are something totally different, I'm sorry.
The air cards.
Correct.
They do
If they've
have
got an
air.
air card for their computer, then that would be involved. But I don't think any of our in-car computers for cops do not have an air card, do they?
Yeah, they do.
They all do?
Yeah.
No wonder my bill's so expensive.
They have a network connection to allow
okay.
us to run our IDACs, basically run license plates and driver's license in our cars.
Comes
Okay,
out of your budget?
no. Comes out of the cell phone budget,
I
I'm
have
sure.
no
They get
idea.
okay.
Huh?
Who okayed that?
Don't
I
know.
don't remember.
You
that.
know, we pay for our 3 air cards.
Did we prove that?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they do too.
I think it got approved, the devices got approved.
Right. Because that was a capability they didn't have
Okay.
before.
Yeah, it was a capability that we never had before, but we had to have it to link in.
You always had to go through 911, which now you can do it on your own. Yeah.
Bless you.
Well,
I mean, there's a lot of costs.
go to the podium, Jake.
There's a lot.
Most city employees pay for their cell phone usage, right?
No,
None at all?
no.
Well,
I
some
make
of
them
them,
pay for their phones. If they want a smartphone or an expensive phone, they have to pay for it.
So they only actually pay for their phone?
Uh-huh. That's the way it was when I got involved.
No, some city employees do.
I thought so, because
For who? For who does, Suzanne?
Some of the civil city, it's about the only department that I.
I thought all the employees, except for your foremans, paid, reimbursed for phones. I don't know about the police department or the fire department.
there are some employees that actually have their own plan, their own phones.
All of them, Suzanne?
All of them but foremans, I believe.
I believe so.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Okay, and I was going to say that money that's being, how do you do that, Suzanne? Do you deduct that from their check, or?
That was set up prior to me doing payroll, and some people are $5, some are $10, it depends on their usage. Excuse me. Some people have their really
high dollar phones and they use a lot, there could be upwards of $50 they're paying for their phones.
So when the bill comes in, you can itemize it by the
I
individual?
don't see the bills, Jackie actually gets the bills. I just have a deduction in
So
payroll
Jackie, you
for
didn't know you were
stuff.
supposed to itemize it and bill your employees, some of them anyway?
Well, it's a payroll deduction, so she takes it out and they pay it.
But how does she know what to take out if she doesn't see it?
It's, every week is the same. They're not based on their usage. I think, and I could be wrong, because again, I didn't do it. I think Teresa looked at plans. I think that's how it was set up, and if they just did a standard plan, it was $5, $10, $15 a month. And then the people that got the real big, plans with all the bells and whistles, they're like, they could be $50 a month. So-
Okay.
And that's where stipend would come in play. They'd have to take care of all that. We wouldn't.
So, and then my second question to follow up with that is they do have unlimited texting, they do have unlimited calling, and they...
So much
and they-
texting with your plan. If you go over that, then there's a fee for so many extra texts.
Right, and internet service, is that included too? That you
Most
get,
all of the phones have the internet service.
so do the employees have to reimburse the city for that, or just their...
That's usually just in the plan. It's part of the, you get
Let's say
500
Joe gets a cell phone and he's got all these plans on it, and you know it, so he's gonna get
I
reimbursed.
think everybody in the city has a certain plan. And then if you have something above and beyond that, then you had to pay for it.
Okay, now what happens if you don't have the above
I don't think
plan,
Anybody has.
and they still are using the internet, if their phone's got that capability?
I can tell you some people that have flip phones, like the old school flip phones, they still pay for the internet and they barely get it. So they're still paying for the plan.
Okay, so we need to go down, or somebody does, need to go down through and see what the individual employees' plans are, what she's deducting from the checks, and that money should go back into cell phone.
Well, but the state will not let me put that back into the cell phone line, Jane. I can put it into general or riverboat, wherever we're taking it from, but you cannot just put it back in the line like we used to because they won't let us.
Okay.
But I think do we not have a cell phone fund?
No, not that I know of.
I thought we did. I don't have.
I thought we did too.
We have line items for cell phones, but I don't know that there's a cell phone fund.
I thought it was one of the 700 accounts.
I don't know, we'd have to look. I don't know
I
either.
think it's a good idea.
So you'd have to take that into
And
consideration.
that goes automatically into, when we take it out of their paycheck, it would go into whatever fund that is. And we're having
Okay, back to you.
I
Go
thought it was
ahead.
cell phone fund. I don't.
Any more questions for him? That's something to consider, so.
The only problem, I mean, like you brought up the stipend, I think it's a good idea. What if an employee says, I don't want to pay that stipend, I don't need a cell phone, then how are you going to get a hold of them during the day if they don't want a cell phone then?
Yeah. All of them's got phones though, every one of them do.
We used to have radio.
We also got all
We
radios
still
in
got
the
radios.
trucks,
Okay.
too.
And I tell you what, they probably should go back to the radios.
But if you do it for one department, you gotta do it for all departments.
Well, yeah, we know
Yeah, they
that.
are, they all got the same radios. That's something to think about, think what you want to do and come back. Thank you.
All right, thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Mike Clark, Asphalt Crack Seal Project.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have completed the project to the extent of the contract, which was a $6,000 per ton in place, not to exceed $35,000. We knew the winter was hard on the streets. We got the Ludlow Hill area completed. We've got Industrial Drive completed. We still have Old 48 in the downtown. And I wanted to try to get some direction from this board to see what we should do. My recommendation, we need to do the downtown. I mean, the winter was really rough on our streets.
What was the other area, downtown and what?
We've got the downtown and Bilby Road, or
Okay.
just the Old 48 section.
Okay.
I think we need to go up on the hill and look at what they've done. And Donnie, I've gone up there, I think Mario has, we had a mayor come in. Every place, I think that, and Mario, I'm not gonna speak for you, but every place I looked at, honestly, it looked like they did what they were supposed to and did a good job.
I think it can deviate 3/8 of an inch from surface is within the spec. And they did go back and touch up some spots, Donnie.
They never come to my street, and I watched them put it down. I think a fly-by-night outfit would have done a better job.
And Donnie, and I looked at your
Come up to my
street.
street and
I
I'll show
did,
you.
and I seen no problems with your street on what they did.
I think it was a poor job.
We can meet, maybe it's an isolated area you're looking at, we're not seeing, but we can meet up there. Be more than happy to come up.
Well, what was the amount awarded to have the hill done?
Well, it was per ton, as Mike was saying.
And that's the way it was presented in the bid form?
Yeah, per ton in place.
Any guesstimate on how many tons are left downtown?
We used just a hair under 6 ton on the hill, and my guess would be 4 to 6 additional tons.
You know, I was the one brought it up about the cracks in the road. And on my street, when it rains, that road was a brand-new road. It's got all these cracks in it, and when it rains,
Well, the one section.
wait a minute, mud is pumping up through the cracks. And I wanted you to take a look at it. And
But
then
don't-
these guys come along and I showed them right where these bad spots are, and they missed them.
Donnie, me and Mario went up there, and I thought you were even there when we were up, and one was outside, one was driving when you said mud was pumping up through the one crack right there in front of your house.
Driveway.
There wasn't anything coming up.
As far as the new road, that's an overlay. That's not a complete build on that section work.
Yeah, but still, I mean, if you're gonna seal it, you're gonna seal it.
Correct. But I want you to get confused, think that was a total tear out because it was just an
Oh,
overlay.
I know, I live there, I know it was,
But I just need to,
but I just
I need
hate to
some
see the
direction
water
from
get
this
in there
board.
and this winter, and then we end up with potholes again on that road, you know.
Can you
due to
send it
poor
back up and
sealing.
reseal that?
Well, we could meet with Donnie, Mike, say maybe
Now
he's
meet
got a
with Don
spot.
and show you where the
Yeah.
cracks are.
There you go.
I'm like him, I don't want to see a street come up either.
And there again, that's my concern with what we haven't treated, that if we don't go ahead and do the preventative maintenance now, it's gonna come back and bite us really bad next year or year after.
This is a harsh winter on the streets.
Yeah.
So I just need some direction from the board.
Anything on board?
Why don't you guys get with Donnie and then,
Come back next meeting?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Mike, you had the bids tonight for the trailer?
No, that's at the meeting on the 21st is when they'll,
21st? Okay.
yes.
People from recycling, do you have anything you want to comment about? This, along with the terms of the recycling thing. Nothing? Yes.
I thought that the vote for the trailer was tonight. That's what I was told.
The 21st, when he's going to do the trailer.
That's why we're here.
A little early.
Nothing particular to add, except that I've been
Come to
talking.
the microphone, would you please?
Sure. Hello, I'm Molly Resendez. I work at the Solid Waste District. I do our education programs. The only thing I know of so far that I've been dealing with the start of a recycling program curbside is I've been talking with John Johnson about a mailer to be sent out to residents and the information that needs to be on that mailer to make sure that residents have the appropriate information so that it gets off to a good start, so people don't start with wrong information and put things in they shouldn't be putting in, that sort of thing. That's.
So you have gave him the information then? Okay.
Yep, I actually saw a draft of it today, and we kind of went back and forth about a few changes to make as far as being really clear about what people need to put in, how they need to put it in, so that we don't end up with issues, right off the bat.
Sure.
There's always going to be a little bit of contamination and confusion, especially with a brand-new program, but especially since we're collecting the same materials that we've been collecting for years and years at the trailer site, and since that trailer will still be available over at the fairgrounds, it shouldn't be an shouldn't be a surprise for people.
I think Brad sent it over to, what's going to take, get it set up.
Yep.
Yeah.
What about the quotes? He was gonna get some quotes on the.
Brad's not here, he has some
He is
quotes.
too?
Really?
Brad's in the
Right
back of the
there.
Come on up, Brad.
He's in yellow.
Good to see you back there, Brad, it's getting bad.
Hide in the corner.
Better get the glasses fixed, huh?
I've got 3 quotes here
They're on the agenda.
for the 1,500 totes we talked about. They'll be navy blue, white lettering, one-time branding fee of City of Lawrenceburg. I've got one quote here for $11,435 from Merrick Pacific. I've got another one here from Global Industries of $17,925. And another one from Best Equipment, a total of $14,380. There'll be a dark green with the chasing arrows. Hot stamp with the City of Lawrenceburg plus freight, like I said, $14,380. We deal with Merrick Pacific with the garbage cans. Total cost per unit, like we talked, after the second one would be $695 a piece.
Anything on board?
Can we bring that up under old business then, Les?
Yeah.
it's supposed to
That
be
would be
on
up to
there.
the mayor, but I did see that we asked him to get those additional quotes.
Right.
That's under old business.
Brad, what's your recommendation?
We deal with Merrick Pacific for the trash. I would say we go with Merrick Pacific for the recycling totes.
And that's at $11,435.
Yes, ma'am.
And what's the unit? How much? How many?
1,500 at $695 a piece.
Okay, so those were all for 1,500. correct?
Right, and a one-time branding fee of the City of Lawrenceburg, $325. Freight, $685, a grand total $11,435. They'll be coming out of Wisconsin. It'll be a 4-week turnaround for delivery.
Entertain a motion?
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mac. Okay, review and discuss claims board approval.
I'll move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
None.
All against? Motion adjournment.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Utility board as soon as you get seated.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Now's as good a time as any. I got it. Thanks.
I said it because he goes both ways. I just go one way.
I'm good.
Very good. How about you? Both of you.
I usually both.
Are you Mr. Sites? I'm here.
I think they're close times. Could be the lights.
What's that?
It could be the lights.
Think so?
Next time, I'll borrow it like your.
I've got one in my truck.
There we go. After me. See you steady shaking.
Bring your temperature gun into it. Let's check that out.
Pretty hungry.
See who the hothead is.
take my daughter Amazon. That ain't good. One on the ankle, one on the shoulder.
No.
Just what? Just
For
start
the meeting and then
Just
check
start
them out.
the sport.
I've seen this before, but yeah, yeah, we know.
There's something in this road just burns my eyes up.
Irritating.
Every freaking meeting it does that to me.
Yeah, that's
No, I don't know why that has, that should just be fund or line item, not appropriation.
On the Board of Works approved it instead of
Purchase, because they're the purchasing agent. The Board of Works is the purchasing, one of our ordinance states that the Board of Works is the purchasing agency and the mayor is the purchasing agent.
Right, is this list on our appropriations report too?
I don't know about that.
On our accounts payable report?
Who did this for you, do you know? Connie did. I'm not
Connie
sure if you
just
might
made
ask
it.
Connie.
But no new money was appropriated?
No.
It came out of
No,
the
it
line
comes out of
items?
budgets.
Yes.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
You're welcome.
Everybody ready? Oh, utility board meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Jane Pope,
Present.
Aaron Cook,
Here.
Bill Bruner.
Here.
Mike Lawrence,
Here.
Sharon Holcraft.
Here.
Utility Director Mel Davis,
Here.
Attorney Leslie Votaw,
Here.
Mayor Dennis Carr,
Here.
and myself.
Any announcements? Hearing none, approved minutes previous meeting.
I'll move.
Second.
Second.
Wait a minute. Sorry, Mayor. Utility Board minutes, under announcements, I said on Arch and Tate there was a street light out, not a traffic light. We have stop signs on Arch and Tate.
Okay.
Okay. Jerry, you want to make that?
And that was taken care of. Thank you, Mel.
You're welcome.
You want to make that with the correction, JR?
Yeah, that'll work with.
Okay. Who seconded?
Yeah.
Seconded.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? I need,
Record show abstain. I was absent.
Okay.
I need to approve work sessions for 6/30/14 that we had.
There's minutes in your packet for the work session we had on June 30th of 14.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve unless Bill Bell beat me to it.
So will you just second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All against? Ayes have it. Committee reports.
Thank you, Your Honor. There are a couple of things I'd like to inform the board about. We had an outage on the 1st of July, which mainly affected the Ludlow Hill area. That was due to a Duke energy issue with a breaker. The breaker opened and they couldn't get it to close. They finally figured it out, and it took about almost 3.5 to 4 hours to get it resolved. Then on the 4th of July, we had an outage at the high school. We had a splitter box that caught fire. I don't know the cause yet. There was nothing left much to examine. The other issue is the sewer force main. We have the bypass in place, and we were trying to remove the existing pipe from the casing that goes under the railroad track. The pipe has been grouted in completely, so what we're looking at other options now, and I'll keep you informed as to what the resolution is of that. In your packet, there is an ordinance, or a part of an ordinance that helps explain what the tracker is, what it applies to. So that's for your information. That concludes my report, Your Honor.
Mel and electric going out, that's another reason we need a direct line in here.
Yes,
That would help stop some of that.
that would stop, that would stop it. That would put the issue in our hands. If we have an equipment failure, it's our fault, not somebody else's fault. You've never felt so powerless in your life as I did that night, when there wasn't a darn thing I could do about it except wait on somebody else to figure out what their problem was.
Then they had to wait for Cincinnati to come down to it, didn't they?
Yes.
Okay, that's all you have, Mel?
That's all I had.
I got a comment. I thought we discussed that and approved that.
We discussed, I don't think they ever got approved.
What was that?
The direct line.
We got it approved, you all approved it.
Correct.
You all approved the study, but we're still waiting on Duke to approve it to allow us to connect to their 138 transmission
Okay,
line.
so it's in the process, because I thought we approved that.
We did,
Yes.
but we'll wait for their approval.
Yeah. Yeah, we're waiting on them. I call them about every other week, and they've not made a decision yet.
That was in 12 too, wasn't it? 2000
Pardon me?
Wasn't that in 2012?
Yes. Yes.
They don't get in any hurry, do they?
No, well, no, because right now, it all comes down to money. Right now, we're paying them to utilize their substation, and when that's approved, that, we won't have to pay them anymore. And they're collecting $20,000 to $25,000 a month from us for the use of that substation. So eventually, I guess I'll get to talk to the right person. I don't know. I've been trying, but eventually maybe we'll get it approved.
Okay, thank you, Mel.
That's all.
Okay, new business, Mel and Mario, trench restoration for curb repair.
I'll let Mr. Todd explain the quotes that he received.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think Mr. Lawrence will be happy with this. We went up to receive quotes for the reconstruction of the crossover ditches, utilities on industrial. They include both the curb and the asphalt patching. I've got a quote from Paul Rowe Company, $35,524. Quote from Dave O'Mara, $39,500. Be my recommendation to go with the low quote, Paul Rowe Company.
Anything, board?
My question is, are they gonna get on that fairly soon? Because I know on the right side going down, it's washed out pretty bad. Pretty
Yes,
deep.
you see, we stuck some mix in it the other day over there, but with the heavy rains we've had, it's hard to keep up. Now, if we get the okay, we'll try to get in there as soon as possible.
Can you tell those amounts again, Mario?
I'm sorry, it's Paul Rowe Company, $35,524. Dave O'Mara, $39,500.
Their forms are in your packet,
Yeah,
Mike.
it should be in your
I
packet.
was just writing them down.
You recommend the lower amount?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything else, board? Entertain a motion?
Motion to approve the lower bid.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Ayes have it. Old business, have none. Review and discuss claims board approval.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All against? Motion adjourned. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Just a second. Jane Pope. Present. Aaron Cook.
Here.
Bill Bruner.
Here.
Mike Lawrence.
Here.
J.R. Holcraft.
Here.
Okay. Sergeant Nick Myers?
Here.
Okay, I thought I got it right. I didn't know. I have to lose track. Johnny Tremaine.
Here.
EMS Director Bobby Mills. Attorney Leslie Votaw.
Here.
Utility Director Mel Davis.
Who's not at my agenda?
He's gone. Mayor Carr.
Here.
And myself.
Okay, any announcements?
Yeah, I have an announcement, or more of a question. I don't know if it's something that council needs to do or how it gets approved, but I had someone question me about the Parks Board, how we ask comments from the audience, like council meetings, and some people want to speak about the Parks Board issues. Is that something council has to approve to put on the agenda, or?
No, I'll set the agenda. I can put it on agenda, there's no problem.
Okay, because
We just usually wait and do it all council.
okay, well, he can speak after this meeting about the parks then, or? Because he's here tonight, too.
We got somebody here?
Yeah, about they want to talk about Arch Street Park.
Sure. Where's that? Who is it?
John Davis.
John, you go ahead. We usually just wait and let it do it all at
Okay,
council.
okay.
John Davis. The reason I was bringing this issue up is I take my grandkids down to the Arch Street Park, and I noticed that some of the equipment is in need of repair again, the climbing wall. But more importantly, I noticed that there were a lot of smokers with their kids in the park, and those little rubber chips are out there, and the park's being used as a big ashtray. There's cigarette butts that the kids are playing in throughout the entire park. It'd be nice to have one of the rules and regulations that we at least give these kids one chance not to be in a place where they're smoking. I mean, the parents ought to be outside or something like that smoking, but they're throwing all their cigarette butts and their cigarette butts throughout all that rubber soft material in there. And it'd be nice to have that as maybe, how about a no smoking park? I'm just making a suggestion of that. I just think it'd be nice to have the kids be able to play someplace where they don't have to have the smoke in their face and playing in dirty cigarette butts. So that's just
Where are we on the Parks Board? We did do a,
Inspection study?
no, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
We talked about the bullying and the profanity,
Supposed to be new rules.
the new rules that were gonna be posted.
And then also the climbing wall, that was, I thought, ordered a couple months ago or something.
We had a third party come in to do the inspect last month. The report came back probably a week ago, but they've got a couple additions they want to put to it before we release it.
Okay, because I was thinking that they said the wall had already been ordered because it was busted up pretty bad.
That little climbing wall, I mean, I've been in other parks where the kids play and stuff like that, and that one down at the Arch Street Park is really flimsy. I mean, it is so thin. I mean, and you step on it and you literally go down like that. You go to some of the other parks and they are really well made. They don't break. They must be made of a thicker plastic or resin material or fiberglass, or I'm not sure, but they don't break apart like the one there, because the kid's going to fall through there.
We can have the third party inspector see if there's recommendation in regards of upgrading that wall.
And they also need to adjust, there's two, I don't be picky here, but there's two blue swings, which are really cool swings that are over at Arch Street Park. The one on the left works great, but the one on the right, when you start pushing the kids and you let them swing by themselves and they start going like this, the swing starts going like this. And then hitting into there, so I don't know what that,
The problem with those swings,
Those are handicap swings.
yeah, the problem with it is full,
Those are for handicapped
the
children.
adults.
Well, I don't think we should have handicapped children going like this either.
No, but the,
Yeah.
the adults ride in.
Yeah, that's the problem, the adults get in.
Yeah.
Adults get up.
So,
Well, I'm just
It's-
talking about the non-smoking requests. I mean, that would be something that we could incorporate into,
Put on the signage, you're
on the
saying? with
signage, if that's what the board wanted to do.
that's all I had, thank you.
Okay.
Mario, when he comes back, or he has his final report, can you update him on what he just
I will.
mentioned?
We'll give them a call in the morning,
We can
find
get all
out.
that corrected?
If the board wants to, we can put some non-smoking signs up. If the board wants to do that.
I mean, the board may make them.
We haven't done any signs yet, so, I mean,
Correct.
it'd be a matter of adding that to the,
All right.
And then I got it,
Designate a smoking area.
that might be a good.
That'd be better, yeah.
That's what I'm thinking, because the parents, if they're smokers, you don't leave their small kids and leave the park, but maybe just a little area.
Right.
that's a good idea.
Well, then should we, or does there need to be an ordinance made for a fine for smoking in the park if we're adding that?
It would be that, the bullying and the profanity was this, general penalty section, which is at 10.99, which gives the board some discretion as far as that goes, the Parks Board, so. But yeah, if we're gonna post rules, that incorporate the new rules, then, and I don't even know if we have anything in the budget to do that, that might be something we look at for the, for the 14 or 15 budget, but,
As far as,
any kind of signs or something like that.
That wouldn't cost that much.
You
Yeah,
have
it
stuff
wouldn't
in the
cost
budget for that? Okay. I don't know, we're not meeting as the board right now, as the Parks Board, but if you wanted to, you would have to wait to make a motion.
but this
for the next
board could
meeting.
go ahead and do that recommendation to parks, which we would probably, staff, go ahead and take that as being a pass.
Yeah,
Then you
that
can
would
make
be
it
fine.
official in parks.
You can recommend it to the Parks.
Okay.
And then can you take a look at where the non-smoking section, or the smoking would be allowed?
Okay. I'm thinking it's probably gonna be in that parking lot area at the far south of the park, by the basketball.
And then can we have,
Wouldn't you recommend that?
that area.
Without being over there looking around, that'd be my first.
Can I take a look around too?
Sure, sure.
And then,
Bring it back to the next parks meeting.
and then also, have something they can put their butts in.
Yeah, if you have a smoking area.
Bring it back
Thank you
next
for
meeting.
bringing that to our attention.
You're welcome. Bring it back next meeting.
Can Mike, can you get that on the agenda for parks, or Mario?
Sure.
Okay, any more announcements?
I got one,
$5.
It's another thing about Arch Street and signs. They've always done it since the time I was a child to an adult. They fly down Arch Street. And I'm afraid some of these kids are gonna step out or be on a bicycle, and they don't stop at the stop sign on Arch and Tate Street. They roll through it and slow children at play. I know we could probably have to put them everywhere, but back in the day, they didn't even have a stop sign at Tate and Arch, and they used to drag from William Street to the highway. Remember that?
Yeah.
That's probably one of them that did it. What, you got something,
Y'all needs to
Mike?
come up with parks.
Yeah, and this is actually from the state on those signs, and you guys can direct us in whatever you want us to put up, but the signs have been proven not to be effective. And Jane, if they're not gonna stop at a stop sign, what makes you think they're gonna pay attention?
Just to get their attention, slow children at play.
And
I don't know.
It's proven. We'll do whatever you guys
Ain't
want,
gonna
but once they drive by them a half a dozen times, they don't notice the signs anyway. It's like they have blinders on, so.
Nick, tell them step patrols up over there.
Will do.
I have something, Mayor. Go ahead. Just, since our police chief and assistant chief has received the raise, and they received over $170,000 between the two, we're on 7 or 8 occasions since they've received that raise that one of them can't attend this meeting. And I just think, you know, it's not right that we have to pay somebody else to sit in their place when surely one of those two could attend. Because I know the chief hasn't been here in many months. So, I'm just bringing that to the
Find out what
board's
Chief's
attention.
doing. Okay. Okay. Approve the minutes previous meeting.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Committee reports.
He just was absent.
All right.
Streets, alley, and curbs, Aaron Cook.
I don't have anything except for the fact that, High Street looks good. They put the angled parking back, so there's more parking up there now.
Mayor, I got a comment.
Go ahead.
Mario, again, I'm looking to you.
Yes, ma'am.
I think it's 411, the old Stoops place. I think that tree's dying.
What street?
Arch, right across from my house.
Okay.
I
That
think,
large tree there, or the,
no, it's
the landscape
it's the one
tree?
right in front of Curtis Stoops' house.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember him or not. I believe it's dying. It's dying from the top down. And then I think going up toward BP, there's a couple more you want to look at.
Okay. We'll take a peek at them.
I'm sorry, there is one, on the minutes. I'm sorry, I know you guys already approved them. I do know under the grant application we talked about with the Hollywood last time, it said that they would not have less than 65% of the employees from Dearborn County, and it has 54% in here, Jackie.
I noticed that too.
I'm sorry. I noticed it earlier too, and I forgot to say
I
something.
forgot it. Mark it.
It's 65%. We just want to make sure
Okay,
that's okay.
54%
Should be 65%.
of jobs?
Of the employees from Dearborn County. It says not less than 65% of the employees from Dearborn
Okay.
County.
And if the minutes say 65?
The minutes say 54.
It should be, okay.
65.
All right.
Sorry about that. I guess if you guys want to improve that with that
Okay.
change, that would be great. I know.
I'll make a motion to reapprove the minutes with the change from 54% to 65%.
Second?
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor? All against? Ayes have it. Finance, G.R. Holcraft.
Report's in the packet.
Fire Department, Bill Ritter.
No report.
Police Department?
No report, Mayor.
Fire Chief?
Excuse me. Everybody should have rentals for the month. No further report.
EMS?
Just want to remind council that July 1st, we are a paramedic in EMS.
Okay. New business, Jess Stratman, REIT grant application, revised Port Authority.
Thank you, Mayor. Hopefully you all have been given in your packet our grant application that was submitted on behalf of the Southeast Indiana Regional Port Authority. Tom Snyder's here. He's a member of that board as well, so if there's any questions I can answer, maybe Tom can help, but hopefully I can answer any questions you might have. We are requesting, on behalf of the Port Authority, some budgetary assistance of $665,000. That's to allow us to do some investigatory feasibility study type work and give us some initial budget to pursue some projects. We don't have any specific project in mind just yet. This money would be used to try to identify a project that would be feasible for our region. Just to give you some background information, the Port Authority was established in 2013. It's a joint effort right now by the cities of Aurora and Lawrenceburg. Aurora had a Port Authority that was inactive, that we took that Port Authority and joined with the city of Lawrenceburg and created this new Port Authority. The county is also involved right now informally. They have Commissioner Shane McHenry sits on our board, but they will formally be involved through a new interlocal agreement that you guys will see here probably at your next meeting. Greendale has been invited to participate as well, which would incorporate the entire county, but at this time they're declining to participate. So we'll have most of the county incorporated into this Port Authority. The mission and goal of the Port Authority is basically to try to do economic development efforts through what's called intermodal transportation, mainly taking our asset here on the Ohio River, trying to develop economic opportunities through the Ohio River, and using our rail system here in Dearborn County and also our proximity to the Cincinnati metro area and our ties to other metro regions in the area through the interstate system. There's theory out there that with the expansion of the Panama Canal, that's going to reopen commerce like we haven't seen for hundreds of years on the inland water system. So we're trying to look for opportunities specific to our region that will be successful opportunities to build economic growth here in Dearborn County and beyond, and hopefully using our Port Authority to capture those opportunities. So this money would be used to try to investigate which of those opportunities are the best for us to pursue, and some money also used to actually formally go after those projects, do land acquisition investigation, potentially land acquisition cost, appraisals, those types of things are all in what you've been given as a detailed budget. So with that, I don't know how much you've had an opportunity to look through that, but I'm willing to answer any questions you might have with that background information.
I have a question, Jeff. Is Dearborn County going to contribute money?
Right now, none of the municipalities or Dearborn County have been asked to contribute anything per se. We haven't approached that just yet. We have no revenue source whatsoever for this Port Authority right now. So hopefully, at the end of the day, the idea would be that the Port Authority would be self-sufficient. I represent the Port Authority as an attorney. I'm not a board member. My own personal opinion as a member of this community is if we don't get this thing to be self-sufficient eventually, why are we doing it? But we shouldn't continue. So
Is that a yes, they're going to ask people, or no, they're not, other groups?
I don't know if Tom wants to address that, but we have not discussed that amongst our board going to any, this is the first we've ever sought money from anybody. We haven't discussed whether we're going to ask money from Aurora, whether we're going to ask money from the county or anybody else at this time.
Because my problem is, along with a lot of other things that's come before me, I've asked, county contributing, Aurora, anybody else, why is it the citizens of Lawrenceburg's obligation?
You want me to answer it?
I mean, if you want. I mean, that's just, my question. I don't see why it's our citizens' obligation for their money to be the only one being spent for it. If it's a good thing, then I'd say the county's got more money than Lawrenceburg.
Right. The reason that I can say we being the Port Authority Board, discussed going to this particular fund, which would be the Regional Economic Development Grant Fund, we feel that it's a good application for regional economic development purposes. So I don't know how else to answer that, Mike, that's why the fund was created, was to I think, do these types of activities to spur economic growth within the region, and that's what we think, that's what our mission is as a Port Authority. So that's why we came to that grant fund first.
I agree that that's a possibility, but I think that we should make sure that the county's we'll go into that interlocal agreement with the county first before Lawrenceburg gives up any money and see how much money they can come up with. And I've heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard Greendale's going to create their own Port Authority. And how would that affect our Port Authority?
The fact that Greendale creates a Port Authority doesn't necessarily impact this particular Port Authority, and I personally encouraged Greendale to develop a Port Authority if they weren't going to join this Port Authority. It gets a little bit complex. There was some legislation proposed last year where I do municipal work for Aurora as well, and I highly encourage Greendale that if you're not going to join this Port Authority for reasons as to why that legislation was proposed, you should start your own Port Authority. My idea behind that, and I didn't make any bones about this, I told them eventually down the road, I hope we can join together, whether it's through interlocal agreements to do a joint project, or we get together and merge those two Port Authorities someday. That would be a great thing, I think. But if they want to do their own thing, that's fine. It's not going to impact what this Port Authority can or cannot do.
Well, I make a motion to table the request until we find out if the county's going to enter into an interlocal agreement with us.
I just want to add real quick that seen the same thing on the study for the county. I said the same thing. And when I voted for the Port Authority, I said as long as Lawrenceburg wasn't funding it. I'll second that.
Have a motion second, all in favor? Guys. Go ahead.
Mayor, I've got a question. Where does this money come from? Regional Economic Development?
Boat money.
Boat money.
I mean, is that different than the 10-county grant?
That is a 10-county
It
grant.
is a 10-county grant.
And I'm just a little confused, and Mike, because I know you brought up how you wanted to see more of the 10-county grant money spent in Dearborn County, which I think is what they're asking.
As long as it's for a good purpose, not thrown away.
And they can share in the expense.
How many
I mean,
studies has been funded just in the past 12 months, and where are those studies today?
That I can't answer. I'm not aware of that many.
I just think it would be responsible for this board to not fully commit to this money and take on our money from our taxpayers until we know for sure the county is going to join us and the county will help us. Because like Mike says, the county's sitting on more money right now than we are.
I mean, I agree with what they say. I mean, I'm one of the main people to say, if Lawrenceburg's not going to fund the full portion of any of these projects, but we've all discussed, keeping the project local. This is local. And if the county doesn't contribute any money, I mean, you don't have to approve the interlocal agreement,
But we need them. That would help us. We actually need Greendale. It would be great if we could just all join.
I have every indication that the county is going to enter into an interlocal agreement to become a joint participant in the Port Authority, but whether they've committed money, we haven't gone down that road yet.
Okay, I just suggest this board be responsible to our citizens to wait to see.
I just want to see them invest some of their money, along with the Lawrenceburg money. 10-county grant or not, it's Lawrenceburg's money. It's the citizens' money.
And where would we have to appropriate that, Jackie? Or do we have that in a line item
Come out of the
somewhere?
10-county
The 10 counties, it's a line item in one of the riverboat budgets.
We got,
Actually, it would be from last year's, because this was approved last year, so It would be the non-reverting.
213 monies.
Any more from board?
I got a question.
Go ahead.
I guess it's directed towards Jeff more than anything. Jeff, has Greendale formally been asked to participate? And
They
give
have.
a reason why they did not want to?
I don't know. I don't know why they don't want to participate. They've been asked to participate, so they just said that this time they were going to decline that invitation.
I believe in the newspaper, I'm not 100% positive, but I believe it in the newspaper that it said they were concerned about the membership numbers from the different municipalities. They would only have one member on the board, correct?
I'm not sure if that's their reason. And this may sound, I don't read the local newspaper.
Yeah, I believe
I do that for a reason, so I don't want to make Erica mad, but I tend to do my job better, I think, when I don't read what's in the newspaper. So if it said that, I'm not going to dispute it, but I honestly did not read that article.
I was just curious if there was.
Yeah.
I mean, has it something that they've discussed at a meeting, or, you know?
If Greendale has, I don't know. The discussions I've had have been with Attorney Richard Butler and with Al Abden specifically. I haven't spoke specifically with Mayor Hedrick. Mostly I've spoken with Al Abden, and Al just gave me a courtesy call and said we're going to decline. So that's all that my personal involvement has been.
I was just curious
as to
if
why
they
they're-
voted on it, or?
And then I shot Al an email and said, if you're not going to join us, get one done yourselves, because it would be prudent to do so. So.
I just think if we've got the river and we've never really utilized it to its, you know, the possibilities of having a port authority, I understand, are pretty great. So it's there, and we've never went down the road to investigate.
It's other monies that, I mean, it's definitely a backup plan. I mean, our revenues are going down. I mean, this is something that can serve the area and definitely.
On Bill's point, maybe some of Jane's point, the reason Aurora and Lawrenceburg got together with this initially is you think ports, you think river, you know, it's mostly inland waters. And the two cities control the riverfront. The county's really not necessarily involved in that. Now, there are reasons we would want the county involved, primarily for rail connectivity and just to have that cooperation countywide. So, but really, a port development centralized will be on the river. I mean, it will take.
Does Greendale control any of the river?
No, but they have rail as well. So it's not critical that either of those two entities participate, but it just makes things easier if we're all cooperating and trying to connect those things. It's that intermodal connectivity, connecting rail to river to highway. If you can do all of those things, you start to create economic development opportunities that we haven't done in the past. So, you know, to be quite honest, with the closure of AEP, that's one site we're particularly interested in to see what happens there. And so, you know, I know the mayor's been in some discussions with folks from AEP as to what their intent is with that site, and so that's a site where we have an eye toward. You know, there's nothing in the works there or anything just yet because they haven't decided for sure what they want to do, but that's potentially an opportunity where we lose 100 or more jobs and we can create a backfill with a port opportunity.
On a revenue side, being tax dollar, isn't it going to benefit the county overall the most? No matter if it's in Aurora, Lawrenceburg, majority of tax revenue goes to the county, correct?
For the port to generate revenue?
Any tax dollar. Like if there was a company went in, the tax revenue it would bring in, majority the county sees.
I don't think so.
I don't
Like
think
a
that's
city.
true.
They don't?
The tax rate in Lawrenceburg, your tax percentage, your rate's higher than what the county's rate is.
47% compared to their minimum.
Yeah.
As far as just Lawrenceburg A and B tax
Yeah.
district. But normally.
So the majority of the property tax paid in Lawrenceburg, the majority of it goes to the city of Lawrenceburg. Some of it goes to the county, some of it goes to the school district, some of it goes to the library district, but Lawrenceburg gets the lion's share of that.
47%, you said?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what those percentages are
It was,
here, but.
that's, we had Umball do a study on it with this whole county tax issue.
But I do know that of your total tax rate in Lawrenceburg, the majority of that is Lawrenceburg City's tax rate.
Any more from board?
Tenth County Grant Committee favored this, right?
Yes, unanimously.
Passed it to council.
Did they passed it, correct?
Yeah, they passed
It went to there before it come to us?
Yes. They unanimously supported it.
Was there a sponsoring body?
Yes.
The Port Authority itself, it's a quasi-governmental entity, just like a redevelopment commission or that type of stuff. So Leslie and I discussed that, who would enter the interlocal agreement and stuff, and that can be done through the city of Lawrenceburg and the Port Authority itself.
Where's the motion on the floor?
It died.
I entertain a motion to
Oh,
approve the Port Authority.
I'd make a motion to approve it. With the
Second?
wait a minute.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against?
Aye.
Roll call, please.
Just a second. Jane,
No.
Aaron,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Mike,
No.
JR.
Yes.
Okay, 3 yeses to 2 nos.
Passes. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you all.
Jackie Stutz, ordinance transfer funds.
There was an ordinance in your packet. What we're doing is we're taking money out of line items where different people in different departments sold vacation back, and we're putting it into, we're putting it back into the funds that we need to put it into. We took it all out of there. We're taking vacation buyback money and we're transferring it back to any number of departments. It is no extra money. It is not anything that has to be appropriated. It's simply a transfer. And by a transfer, the state considers it an appropriation of funds from one to another. But there's no extra money involved.
So why did you use the word appropriate funds? Why couldn't you just set an ordinance to transfer
Because that's the way
funds?
it's always been done, Jane. I don't know. From the time I came into, I think probably before I came into this, it
Because
always
you are
says,
appropriating from
you're
one.
appropriating it from one line to another, or one fund to another. Even though you're transferring it, it's still an appropriation according to the state. But we're not asking for, there's no extra money involved. We're just taking it from one place and putting it somewhere else. And because it goes from one place to a bunch of places, I need your approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Do the ordinance.
We gotta do the ordinance, yeah, ordinance first.
What number are we talking?
Yeah, I know. It's number 7, Leslie. An ordinance to transfer and appropriate funds. Section 1, that there is a transfer and appropriation of funds to take care of the following expenditures by reduction and additions as needed to make these line items balance. Additions, the general fund 101. Carpenter foreman, $1,272.48. Laborers, $367.36. Civil city foreman, $636.24. Clerical A, $1,858.40. Chief of police, $1,782.69. Assistant chief of police, $47.53.83. Patrolman, $199.04. Detective sergeant, $3,076.80. Lieutenant, $3,088.80. LERU full-time employees, $1,576.08. Custodian laborers, $898.40, for a total of $19,510.12. Motor vehicle highway, 201. Mechanic A, $1,559.40. Vehicle maintenance foreman, $1,081.20, for a total of $2,640.60. Riverboat engineer code support, $909.20. Building commissioner, $1,491.92, for a total of $2,401.12, for a grand total of $24,551.84. And the reduction comes out of vacation buyback for this $24,551.84. And the grand totals are both $24,551.84. Section 2, that the common council determines that the transfers and appropriation of funds is necessary to meet the expenditures. That this ordinance shall be in full force and effective after its passage and approval by the county council. passed by the common council of the city of Lawrenceburg, Dearborn County, Indiana, this 7th day of July, 2014.
I have one question.
Yeah.
A lot of these are salaried employees. I was just curious of why the line items in the budget wasn't correct to begin with.
We're trying, it's all in the way it was done before, Mike. We're trying to fix things that have not been done right because that's what you guys seem to want. And so we found this and rather than wait till the end of the year, I thought I'll just do it now and then from now on, when they do payroll, they're going to take vacation buyback out of the vacation buyback line. Instead of out of their line where I shouldn't say where they live, where their pay comes from, I'm sorry.
So this will take it to the correct number.
Yes, we're gonna correct it, and then we're gonna, from now on, it's gonna be done the right way, and, it's just the way it was done before, and I don't know why that was, it's just the way it was.
Jackie, what's that ordinance number?
7,
Thank you for correcting and not continuing doing things the wrong way and decide to go ahead and do things the right way. Thank
Okay.
you.
Got a motion to approve the first reading orders number 7, 2014. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion to suspend the rules, read ordinance number 7 by title only for the second time.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
okay. Give me a second here, put some of this, get rid of some of these papers. Ordinance 7, 2014, an ordinance to transfer and appropriate funds.
Okay, motion to approve ordinance number 7 for the second reading by title only.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to suspend the rules, read ordinance number 3 by title only for third and final reading.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Read ordinance.
Okay, ordinance 7, 2014, an ordinance to transfer and appropriate funds.
Motion to approve ordinance number 7, 2014 for third and final reading.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Okay, wait a minute, now, let's see. I will pass these around, there's 2 copies for you all to sign, and it's, an A and nay situation on there. It's 2 copies, thank you.
Mayor, before we move on, can I jump back to the Port Authority for 1 second?
Yes.
No.
It's just real quick. Maybe he didn't understand me, but when I was bringing up the local paper, I finally got it pulled up. It says on here, Jeff Stratman, the SERPA attorney, said he amended the Port Authority's interlocal agreement to include Dearborn County and Greendale, contingent on their passing the agreement. And then he said, "The county's definitely ready to move forward," said SERPA member and County Commissioner Shane McHenry, but commissioners agreed to wait on Greendale's action. "I think they're concerned about the membership, that they don't have the same number as Lawrenceburg and Aurora," said Stratman. So he's...
The reason that was brought up, they didn't want to make that board too big. They said Aurora and Greendale had 3 members, and the county has 1 in Greendale.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, but Mr. Stratman said he didn't know anything about that when he was here, so I didn't know if he was confused or...
So I think is what he's asking. Did you get the comments directly from Mr. Stratman for the paper?
And he said he don't, read the local
Might have
paper,
been.
but
I can't speak for him, I don't know.
he already left. But it took me a while to get it pulled up.
Okay. Leslie Votal, LCD lease issue.
And I don't know, I think Mr. Seitz was here and left. We had asked the.
Sign my name.
To try. We'd asked the Conservancy to attend, members of the Conservancy to attend. At the end of last year, there was a letter that was sent to us concerning Mr. Butler, the attorney for the Conservancy District, his belief that the lease between the city and Lawrenceburg Conservancy Districts for the land concerning our development agreement with Penn National is void. He basically said, based on the same statute, the statute about 364812, which has to do with an agreement for longer than 1 year is void without subject to appropriation. This was brought to my attention back in October of 13. We have met, I tried to meet with him in November, tried to reason with him because I do think generally under their powers as a conservancy district, they're a special taxing district. They are able to lease to municipalities, counties, and park boards for a term up to 50 years. And, you know, and we can enter into such lease regardless of other statutes. However, and that's under their powers, under Indiana Code 1433-613. Their powers do not include, however, leasing to private individuals. So I'm not real sure how they intend to try to lease directly to Penn National. The land we're talking about is where all the new boat is. They voted at their a couple meetings that they would file a declaratory judgment against the city to declare the lease void. There are many arguments against that. I'm sure Mr. Butler has the equal amount of arguments for that. Recently, in April, we did meet the mayor, Mr. Holcraft, and myself. Mr. Lawrence was also involved in that. And we did meet with Mr. Butler, Mr. Seitz, Mr. Laurie, and Dr. Richter. And there was a proposal that was sent. Basically, they wanted to see if the city would be willing to give more money to the LCD on a yearly basis. Right now, according to the lease agreement, there is $500,000 per year that is given to them. Since we received this notice that he was going to file suit, they were returning the checks. So since that time with Jackie, I set up an escrow account, so all of the money that we were supposed to be paying them, and it breaks down to, Suzanne, correct me, it's like $41,000 a month. Is that
41 or 46, Suzanne?
41,666.67.
Okay.
We've been putting those amounts into an escrow and account, just basically so it's not mixed in with any general funds or anything like that. Hoping to resolve this issue. Brought it in front of you tonight. I kind of wanted the Conservancy to be here to talk about the reasons why they're not meeting their budget and all the other reasons that we discussed in the meeting. But at this time, I'm not going to put that on on Mr. Seymour. So I guess at this time, I would ask that the board table this issue. But I wanted to give you a background as to what the issue was, even so.
And Leslie, can we let the board know if they do file a motion in court, go to court, it could void the entire agreement.
Yes.
With Lawrenceburg, so the money they get from the casino, it could void and be no good, so it's.
If it is voided, if it is voided, it could be a breach of our development agreement, which in turn would be bad for everybody, including them. Because if we breach our development agreement, then that would give Penn National an out. So there are many reasons why that could happen. We've researched it. There's 4 or 5 different sections that if that ground lease is considered void, we would be breaching our development agreement. Now, the only other thing I need to tell you is that Hollywood is aware of this issue. They've talked a little bit about, I believe, one-on-one with the LCD. I don't think that there's ever been any kind of agreement between the parties, not that I know of. So, but it is something that's out there. It is something that's been threatened. And as far as a lawsuit, I'm just trying to see if there's any common ground to try to resolve it before it resorts to filing a lawsuit.
Mario, you got something?
You said they returned the 40-some thousand for how many periods?
Yeah, since the beginning of this year. So,
So how far back would statute allow to collect that money?
I don't know. That'd be a good question.
I mean, you
That'd
could
be
go back,
something as
you
far
could
as.
go back 7 years, I guess, possibly.
Yes. I mean, that's all part of damages if, if they are contending that it's a void lease. That would be my recommendation. If they're saying it's void, it shouldn't just be void for this year, it'll be void
Forever.
from 96 on, so.
However far statute allows you to collect or
Right,
something.
how far let us go.
So are you saying they'd have to repay us all the money we paid them?
With that thought process, if they find it to be, yes.
17 years, so.
If we're all looking for some common ground here, I mean, I've been involved in it for 2.5 years, and yeah, they might get mad at me for speaking up, but I really don't care. We all do have some common ground. I mean, we've been given the task of keeping this town from buying flood insurance. That's all happened in the last 1.5 to 2 years. We don't have enough money. When I started, we had $46 million in the bank. Now we're at 38. It's going down every year. We've got a project that's probably going to cost us, could get up 8, 10, $12 million. But I'm looking at more, I ain't no spring chicken, but my daughter, her kids, this place is going to have to be over there the next 50 to 100 years. So somehow or another, we got to work together, figure out how much we need to make things work and to put together a maintenance program that we can keep this and keep things bad from happening with FEMA or whatever's going to possibly happen. I think there's a group of people over there willing to talk, but I think they have to get called out as a complete group.
I suggested a joint meeting, and that was turned down, so, I'm not sure, that's why I went ahead and got it on the agenda tonight, because I wanted to at least get the issue out there. If this board wants to, if someone else would like to approach them about a joint meeting.
I mean, we just gave the Port Authority $680,000 tonight, and we're getting $500,000 a year, and we got guys, I think they do a pretty decent job over there. And
We represent the same people. Keep that in mind.
Well,
We're representing the same.
I don't disagree with the Port Authority, I'm not saying that, I'm just saying, guys, the flat out honest to goodness truth is, we don't have enough money. Maybe that 38 million, but I sit back and think, and if y'all put a pencil behind it, I can see us in 10, 12 years looking at $2 or $3 million, and I don't want to be one of the ones that are sitting back there thinking, what'd they do with all the money? I think that you guys got to realize that we're your right or left arm. We're helping and we're trying to take care of the community. So instead of, and you have cut back on doing things, but we sure have put a lot of money in a lot of other communities, and I think that place over there is deserving of hopefully keeping that amount of money in there for the future after we're all gone, and making sure that this town survives to a point.
Yeah, Mario.
Oh, you were saying about the flood insurance, but aren't we still going to end up paying flood insurance?
And my guess, honest to goodness truth, I think we are.
I mean, they said,
That's yet to be determined, but
Yep.
it's a good possibility.
It's a very good possibility, but we're gonna have to
I
do
just
our
wanted to clarify
job.
that to make sure that, you're not saying that if we give or the city gives money, you're not going to have to pay flood insurance for, because.
No, you made a promise to you quite a while back.
I know he
And I
did.
can tell you
That's
something,
what I
I
was
ain't
trying to
making
get-
that promise. We're gonna have to do something, and we're trying.
Depending on how the levee's graded, it could be less than
That's a possibility, correct.
Yeah.
I wanted
don't
to say
know
it for the Jane, though, to make sure
A
that,
project, I mean, the one you're talking about, I mean, that's what's gonna.
Relief walls are something that this town has forgot about since the beginning, aren't they, Mario? I'm just learning about it, and you're a whole lot more familiar with it. And now they're getting, there's getting more information on them, and no different than the pump stations, those things are a part of our levee system, and now we're gonna have to maintain them. And even though we're spending that $5 to $8 to $10 million now to refurbish that system, doesn't mean we can let it sit another 80 years. We're gonna have to maintain it. So therefore, this idea of us, you know, I just think that a reasonable situation can be had over there, but I think it's going to be a situation where you put them all in the room.
Has the new engineer that has been hired, a third or fourth, I don't know which one we're on now, have they ever came back with
All I can tell you is we're making some real good progress. We had a meeting last week. Yes, as of right now, we're dealing with 3 engineers, and hopefully that's going to change. And I
But
can't
are
really.
they coming in agreement with FEMA?
I don't think I don't think FEMA's caring about an agreement of any kind. I think Mario hit it right on the nose. At some point, we're going to get a bill in this town. You're going to get a bill, I'm going to get a bill, but instead of that bill being up here, we're doing our best to keep it as low as we can. And
Now, as far as, you also serve Greendale, correct? The Conservancy.
yes, we do.
So
Somehow or another, we got a gift of a levy from Greendale, and all that's done is cost us money ever since. I've been finding that out lately, too.
So, I mean, along the same lines with Mr. Lawrence you were talking about earlier, I mean, have they been asked to fork up any money? Do you know?
I don't think they have, but it's a good point. It's a very good point.
Nope. I've been involved, this is my 11th year, and of the 11 years that I've been involved in the city, in any dealings that we've had with the LCD, we've always met a wall. Now, in return, when they come to us and was asking for this or that, you know, we always helped out. But it seemed in return, if it was the other way around, we were hitting brick walls. So as far as calling people out, there has been individuals over there that have always, it hasn't been easy to work with them, you know, and it seems like when you say, you know, we should be doing this together, we should be, but it hasn't been like that since I've been here, and I'm sure there's several other people that can attest to that.
And I've heard that.
That's true.
I have, since I've been there. I mean, from the working aspect of it, I can honestly say that any time so far I've ran into anything that I've needed from the city, we've got it, and anything that the city's needed from me and my guys over there, we've tried to do it. But right now, with me stepping down and doing the job I'm doing right now, I probably shouldn't even be standing here, but I'm really not one to really care. I mean, I just think what's right's right, and I think that everybody ought to work together on this. So,
But at this point,
that's
I don't
it.
know.
And my biggest concern is to take a chance on losing what we receive.
Well, look at this from the duties we got. Look at what we're protecting. Look at what little, you know. I think right now we are making some big steps. I think we are talking to some engineers. I promise you in the next month, you're going to see a lot of work going on around the inside of the levee. We're going to start cleaning them. We are going to be doing some other things, and I've been pushing them. I can't, you know, speak for what you will get out of a conversation with the boards, but I do think that throw it out there to them and push them. I know how some of the guys feel.
Well, and in that meeting, just so everybody knows, they requested an additional $1.5 million to bring it up to $2 million, is what they requested.
With an escalator.
With the escalator, which myself, I don't agree with the escalator, but it would be whatever's decided has to have subject to appropriation, so at any time, at budget time, if the board votes no, it's not there anymore.
Right.
But then we lose everything.
Well,
But I'm
not
saying that
necessarily, but you,
if
but
something
you could
comes to
also put a
light
dollar-
that
you
people
could also
believe a
put
different
dollar
thing, it's not like it continues for 20 years regardless. It's subject to appropriation, so.
I mean, 12 years from now, guys, you might end up seeing somebody over there that just, you know, if we don't get it, we won't have, I mean, we don't have any other income except that. I know there used to be a tax, but from what I remember paying it, it wasn't. I mean, Dennis, you know, what, 10, 15 bucks a
Yeah, it
year?
was like 50 a half, wasn't it? Mine was like
I wouldn't have
67.
I mean, I don't know what good that would do.
It was single digit.
But that was back,
It was really low,
you
wasn't
know,
it?
that
Yeah.
was back before you had all this trouble.
And also, they said that their operation budget, I believe, was 1.1 million at this time. And that's,
Yeah, it was 2 digit.
They're
but I
trying
paid
to
about 50 or 67.
make sure that they cover their operation budget, is what they were saying in the meeting.
Well, they'll know that, but I just wanted to say that. I don't want people thinking, you know, and realizing we do have a duty to do, and it is costing us money. And it has been a recent duty, and it's not gonna go away, guys. It's gonna stay there, and it's not going away.
So are you saying, go ahead, Mike.
Well, in that meeting, I think the mayor had said maybe 500,000 additional, bring it to $1 million. That is at 1.5, so possibly could meet in the middle or something at 1.5, but if their operations are 1.1, the way I look at it, if they get 1.5, that's 400 a year they can put up, you know.
That's their
For their
decision.
increase, is what I'm saying, is because that was the numbers they give, and they wanted the
And maybe,
increase
and
each
maybe
year, which
the group of 3 need to sit down instead of the group of 2. Maybe Greendale also needs to be involved
Really
in it.
do, they need,
That's what I was gonna
And I definitely think they should go to Greendale, and they should,
I'm going to say what Mike's thought process there, would you limit that to just a Lawrenceburg? Or would you put that in Conservancy's total budget?
Right.
Which would include Greendale?
well, I'd imagine that was their total budget, or of operations, not projects or anything, but operations. But I definitely think they should go to Greendale and ask them to pony up some.
You know, you're very lucky to have money, because every mayor I've talked to up down the river has no money in their.
Well, I've been, in the 2.5 years, I've been to 4 or 5 times down to Louisville, and you're absolutely right. It gets brought up, you know, there's places around town that would love to have some of our old pumps because they can't afford to buy pumps. They can't cut their grass. What do you mean you fertilize your grass? We don't want ours growing because we can't afford to cut it. So you're right, Dennis. But do we do that, or do we do what we're supposed to do?
I think all of them need to sit down and talk, all of them.
Mr. Seymour, I got a question. So between the 3 engineers and FEMA, they won't resolve the issue, and we will probably eventually be mandatory to buy flood insurance regardless of what you do.
Well, first off, Jane, I think you're saying won't resolve an issue. I don't know that there's an issue. I think that any time a federal government wants to get money from somebody, they figure out how to do it. Now they've come up with a way that, hey, all over the country, this just ain't happening in Lawrenceburg.
They're gonna recoup a bunch they paid out.
They're gonna get it. So it's our job, but we don't have anything wrong. We're battling, mapping, Mike, and you.
Well, the big thing, he said, you have a task, you're trying to take care of the levee system, keep all the residents from paying flood insurance. FEMA's in dire straits right now. Their task is to figure out a way to generate
Replenish their
revenue
coffers.
to fund FEMA. And they've got the same problem of what your concerns are. They're looking at how they're gonna fund the program tomorrow,
For the next
month,
disaster.
next year, yes.
This don't affect us, it's coastal waters all around the United States.
It's everybody, but we can fight it, and we're gonna do our our part here.
Well, I just wanted to bring it up to the council because it's not something that all of council has been, or, I mean, I've talked to you all individually a little bit about it, but, I guess I need direction from the board of how you want to proceed. Do you want to meet with them all? I mean, would you want us to continue to try to negotiate it with the people that we have had involved, or?
I think we ought to call Greendale, LCD, and Lawrenceburg together
told me to have all three of them in the room.
We could have a joint meeting. That,
Think they go for that, Paul? All right, the board will set up a meeting between all three entities? Okay. Let's get a date, set up a date, and
yeah, and
Get in
we'll
the
make
room.
sure we call everybody, make sure it's a date that everybody can,
we'll have to advertise it.
yes, we will have to advertise it.
Leslie, Mr. Lawrence signed my name by not my name. Do we have an extra 2 copies of?
Just strike out or send it back, I'll fix it. I'll just strike out your name and his name.
I'll go ahead and sign mine.
Where do you want me to sign it? Where he?
Okay. You want to, is that what the board wants to do, get all three entities together?
Yeah.
Put that in a motion?
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. All against? Okay. We'll set something up.
Okay. Next is an ordinance to establish non-reverting fund for the fire department donations. That's in your packet. What is the non-reverting fund, Jackie?
8. We just did 7.
No, the
What? I'm
non-reverting fund number.
I didn't look that up.
Oh.
If the ordinance is 8, I'll have to look up the non-reverting. We
This,
have to make one up, don't we, Suzanne? Or is there one?
Non-reverting fire, I think it's 405.
They have one.
Non-reverting.
Mrs. Votal,
410? No.
as we was talking earlier, the fire department's already got a non-reverting fund.
this is for donations.
But can't it just automatically go in the non-reverting fund that's already set up?
That's 410.
410.
It's 410 is the non-reverting number.
This was something that Emball called us about and told us we needed to set up. So that's the reason I'm doing it.
For donations,
It was for
has to be
fire, it was
separate?
anything, the only thing that's gonna fund is any donations that they receive throughout the year, and they're gonna utilize it for their donations, whatever donations that they would want to donate to, and for volunteer benefits. So,
How do you pay volunteers benefits?
they've always,
Years and years ago, they set up they called it a death benefit, but if they didn't die, they would receive after 10 years $1,000 for their retiring out of the fire department. 20 years, $2,000. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to clean this up. And we met with Jackie and Umball, and these were suggestions that Umball come down with to get us in line with Indiana code. What's going to happen is there's only certain people that are eligible to receive those. They've been in 10 years or more, and this is a way to bring the funds from the department and under the clerk treasurer's umbrella. And when they retire, they will be paid their amount. And that's the volunteer guys only. None of the full-time guys are eligible for this, even though they had time prior to the suggestion was don't even go down that road. So what we're trying to do is clean it up. Anybody that's got 10 years, over 10 years, over 20 years can get their benefit down the road when they retire. After that, there'll be no more available to anybody, and they'll just get paid as they work.
The existing, but no new.
Existing guys, yes.
That's for the non-reverting for donations?
Yeah, that's how they, it's non-reverting for donation and volunteer benefits.
How this got started, this is when they all volunteer. That's when they put the money in.
like I said, this is just something that Umball suggested. They called me, wanted me to do this, and I did check with him on the non-reverting status, and he did say it needed to be non-reverting, so. Which makes sense, because then it would go from year to year.
Jane, you want to sign the blank spot? I've switched names underneath yours, where you signed and Mike signed.
Thanks.
Okay.
So it's an ordinance to create a non-reverting fund for fire department donations, whereas the Common Council of the City of Lawrenceburg has authority pursuant to statutory and home rule powers to adopt this ordinance, and whereas the City of Lawrenceburg Fire Department recognizes the need to establish a fund for donations received by the department throughout the year and which is utilized for their various donations and volunteer benefits. Now therefore be it ordained by the Common Council of the City of Lawrenceburg, State of Indiana, the City of Lawrenceburg shall and does hereby establish a cumulative non-reverting fire department donation fund 2, these funds shall be spent by the fire department by utilizing the purchasing rules set by the Board of Works and Public Safety or with the board's approval. 3, this fund shall be separate from and independent of the yearly riverboat budget. 4, this fund will be funded from the donations that the fire department receives on a yearly basis. Ordained and passed on the 7th day of July, 2014.
Okay.
Leslie, were we gonna set up a separate non-reverting or use the one we've got?
I'm pretty sure they want to set up a separate non-reverting.
Okay, well then I wanna take this number off of here, okay?
What number are you gonna use?
Well,
I don't know.
you'll have to get the non-reverting
I'll have to
fund
get the number and put on there.
All right. Motion approved first reading of ordinance 2014.
I'll move.
8, 2000.
8.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Motion to suspend the rules, read ordinance number 8, 2014, by title only for second time.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Read ordinance.
Ordinance creating a non-reverting fund for fire department donations.
Motion approved of ordinance number 8, 2014, second reading by title only.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to suspend the rules, read ordinance number 8 by title only for third and final reading.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ordinance 8, 2014, ordinance creating a non-reverting fund for fire department donations.
Motion approved ordinance number 8, 2014, third and final reading. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Ayes have it. Mario Fall Fest.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Being part of the Fall Fest Committee, we had a discussion, I think it was per this council, had come up with the formula as far as charging the local, or excuse me, the county outside of Lawrenceburg residents to the Fall Fest. And after a long discussion, I don't see how just isolating that to those people is going to work. I think we need to charge everyone or not charge anyone. I don't think you can have it partial. I think what you'll do is have chaos. I don't know if you're familiar with, they have problems at the swimming pool, just on a daily basis, of people saying that I have a Lawrenceburg address or a zip code, or I think you're going to have that times whatever for Fall Fest.
What happened to mailing the bracelets out with the utility bills?
Again, I think there at the Fall Fest, you're still going to have.
Well, all rides are free now.
Well, I'm
For
talking-
everybody. You're talking about concert.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Bracelets for the concert? We were gonna get bracelets for the
What
concert?
we did discuss too was, if we paid just Fall Fest, we'd have a free concert for the residents next summer. That way you get enough money to take us off the tax base and, help fund it. That's one of the big things we're trying to do too, cut some more tax base with it.
I suggest that the citizens of Lawrenceburg get their passes prior to that evening.
But I think you're going to have.
Still gonna be a nightmare.
I think you're going to have people that's going to show up and say that I was out of town or I couldn't make it down there.
Sorry, this is the 2 or 3 days limit that you had to get your passes, and
Correct.
then
And then I think you're going to have the dispute of, along with that, people are going to live outside the city, but they still quote-unquote think they live within Lawrenceburg.
But the thing was, for a free concert for them, if we make enough money to make this, hold this on, we can have a free concert in the summer for the residents, then keep this thing going, take it off tax base. That makes a lot of sense to me, and it does to a lot of other people.
I mean, what about, it's done, like Mario says, done at the pool. When you go to vote, you live in the city, you vote in the city, they have your name there, they check you off when you come in. I mean, there's several different ways to do it. I mean,
gonna be a nightmare.
when I did the calendars by myself, I sent a calendar to everybody in the city by myself. I mean, it can be, the list is there, I mean, it can be
But you're not
done.
talking 30,000
Yeah, but you're going to
people
say that you've got multiples within a household that.
that you don't know. It's an unknown.
Well, I think this board voted on it, and the Fall Fest committee can't figure out how to do it, then they got a problem.
Well, I'm not saying it can't be done, I'm just kind of bringing your attention,
We'll just make a suggestion, do this.
Because we'd voted on something once, then it come back and it was changed and it was voted on. Now a third time it's something different.
Well, we'll just make a suggestion, do it. And I think it'd be fair for everybody if we did it this way.
Mario, I think you can make it work. There's ways to make it work. It's already been announced, radio, newspaper. citizens of Lawrenceburg will have a free concert.
Believe me, I took a lot of heat over it.
Yeah,
So
I did too.
I might as well keep my heat on my shoulders that I took.
I'm just trying to save, the chance of a headache being there.
And there should be a stop area where you can, before you can even get close to that gate, to that,
There will be.
that concert.
There will be.
You either have a Lawrenceburg pass or you purchase, and the purchase booth should be quite a ways away. This is where you buy your concert tickets at. So we'll have a nice flow down into there.
Oh,
I
I'm
hope it
sorry.
is a nice
That's okay.
flow.
I don't need you.
It can be done. If you got enough security and, I don't even know if you got a security team. Do you got a security team?
I'm not on.
Yes, we do.
I think Mario's gonna have his own, right?
You have a bodyguard?
I mean, one of the best ways probably you're gonna find is if you can get a few city employees that know which addresses are basically in the city before they pass them. I mean,
And I say do it in advance too.
Well, we was gonna do it in advance, but it's gonna be difficult, very difficult.
No, I understand what Mike's saying. I mean, that's what the council voted. I just wanted to bring it back up one more time.
Well, I mean, we changed it once, from what it originally was, then it come back and it was changed. And if it gets changed again, I'm gonna hear it again. And I caught all I need over it. I mean, honestly.
I was just trying to save everybody some grief.
Yes, I've talked to several residents in the city, they said, charge everybody. Make it a lot easier, charge everybody.
I think it's just one or two options, either charge everyone or you let everybody in free.
Well, I mean, I said after this year, I was fine with big concerts going to the fairgrounds and having what I call community fall fest with small local entertainment and charge for the big stuff at the fairgrounds after this year.
That was our plan to do. But it's gonna be hard to bring people in, card them and everything else, because it's chaos. Have you ever been to one of these big, which I know you have, you deal with 30, 40,000 people, it's not gonna be easy. Not easy at all.
I just want to bring it up, Your Honor, see if there's any feedback from the council.
Anything else, the board?
Leave it as is. You're just gonna have to work with what you got.
Okay. Brick wall or barrier wall for LFD?
Yes, Your Honor, inside your packet, you'll find information on the temporary, water-filled barriers. We have quotes. This is an item that would be paid through, we've got, a 5,000, I believe, in safety line item. And the rest would be divided up in 4 different departments: fire, police, civil city, and utilities.
are these mostly for Fall Fest or?
Well, they'll be used for Fall Fest, but they'll actually be used weekly at the music. And along with, Johnny, you can say your needs are ones for them also.
Yeah, last year we started looking at it. If you think back, there's been several occasions, and 2 of them's been in Madison, cars driving through crowds. Well, I got with the police department and we got to discussing this, and with music on the river, people sitting in Short Street, and somebody was to have a medical emergency in their vehicle coming down Short Street, we could have a disaster here. So we'd looked at I seen it done at the Blast in Hyde Park, and that's where originally the idea come from. But I started looking into their stuff, and it was like $50,000-$60,000. So I knew that was out. But then, the water barricades, we can set those in a manner to where we would slow down a vehicle if it's out of control, divert it to avoid that. And I think with all the street parties we have, along with Fall Fest, this would be a good investment for us on the public safety side of it.
I agree with you. Are they going to stay filled most of the time, or are you going to?
No, what we'll do is we assign, on our down street details, we assign a guy to come over to monitor life safety every week. You always see him at Music on the River. So his job, and I asked the police chief if they would assist, we would bring them over, tap into the fire hydrant, fill them up for the event, drain them at the end of the event, and take them back with us. Or if we need to, we can leave them set and move them with a forklift. But, I mean, for overtime costs and stuff, one guy can, one or two guys can disassemble and load.
But during the events, they'll be filled with water, they won't just be, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And utilities also, emergencies, suck holes in the street, these can be set up pretty quick.
So why is this on council agenda and not Board of Works?
Well, we were going through all the different departments as far as the expenditures, and we wanted to get the council's blessing.
Okay. So this has to go back in front of Board of Works then?
If it has a blessing of council, we'd like to get them ordered and make it official at the Board of Works meeting.
And you said the funding was coming from each individual
Well,
department?
5,000 is a line item for safety. We would take 5,000 of this, the lowest bid, to back up a little bit, is 7180, which is from the Hoosier Company. So 5,000 would come out of that line item, then 545 per department.
And that
What's the 6678 number?
That was a different,
That's a different style.
But it's less, I'm just asking because it's less money.
It will explain that to you. If you look at, if you look at the 2001 MB barrier, that WUDOC, that barrier is safer as far as for our labor force to handle. Those holes in the middles where the forks actually pick up these barriers.
I have a question. We can't pick these up in Indianapolis and save $1,200?
They come from Pennsylvania.
We thought so, but
We already asked that question.
we tried. And Louisville, and anywhere close.
Anything, board? Entertain a motion?
So move.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All against?
Get there and make that.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
And that's coming from what Mario said it's coming from.
Line item would be safety, then all four departments would be roughly $550.
Old business.
Jackie, that money's available?
I don't know. I haven't, nobody said anything to me. I haven't looked. In the department money, the 5,000 for in the line item for safety, I'm sure is there. But do you know, did you look at money for the departments, Mario?
I checked with each department head, and they assured me
They
that.
have money?
I can just go.
Johnny might.
Be subject to availability of funds.
Okay. Old business. Have none. Comments from the audience? Anyone want to speak? Okay. Mac?
On John Davis's comment, on the smoking, what's the state ruling on smoking in public parks? It's the same as in public buildings?
No, it's an open area.
Is it? Okay, because I didn't know if there was a different ruling for open areas inside of a closed building.
But you
so-
can deem it a smoke-free campus, so.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was some of your pleasure for signage or what, but,
Right. I'll look into it. I'll
okay.
definitely.
Because I'm like
I
him, I
think
don't want,
Mario's correct on that.
my nieces and nephews playing in cigarette butts,
Yeah.
so, thank you.
But it's fun, Brad.
Anybody else in the audience?
All kids like that.
Okay, review, discuss claims board approval.
I moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Motion adjourned.
So moved.
Second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned.
Is that the right time now?
Yes.
Oh, it is. Exactly.
Yeah, they fixed it.
You know, sometimes there's two different ones to get on, you know.
This calendar's clear all day tomorrow.
There's two different ones.
Make it happen. Make it happen. We've had that.
I don't know,
The show too. That's the thing is, as long as we're downstairs and
Okay, thank you.
Soonest thing,
Leslie would know. Don't we have two different?
3:30 tomorrow.
Yeah, I think I told Bill, but I think well, he asked me tonight, I think I could make it.
We received council pay.
Okay.
Third,
3:30 tomorrow.
the fourth week.
Yeah, 'cause
I'm trying to think though.
You know the password, isn't there two Wi-Fi passwords? And one's stronger than the other to get on?
You know, I saw Tommy and I haven't
Can you look and see if
Can I have this?
with,
I know they wrote it.
If you can see if it's clear. 'cause
For last
maybe I
night.
just don't
you
remember.
guys are kind of in charge of the water and that kind of thing, so maybe you guys should kind of
I'm
help
gonna keep that envelope.
take that under your wing and make it as a first project kind of thing.
We only listen.
That was a big red flag.
Well,